having a wonderful day. And I would fuck with my wives, it's the first of the month. And I'll be smoking, joking, rolling, hustling, sipping on 40 ounces again. Come, we got the busted rum. All nights we high, get up the back to where 9. I give with my nigga to give me some yeah, yo. Double up, nigga, what you need? We got weed to get P.O.D. Ain't for the green league, give it up for the first show, but it lay low. Because the pop feet with the roll so low. You can't get away, but it toast that yeah, yo. Keep your bankroll. Yeah, we're having a celebration to stay high. You can never leave, but it's time to grind. I'm down for mine. Crime after crime. From the grape to the bag, cause mom's got a grub on the grill. If we got the flow, you know it's the first of the month, and my nigga, we cheers for real. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up. It's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up.
Pick up, and I see that my sister was already dead. She said I'm gonna go get my stairs. Watch I make sure no one snatches my chick. Nigga, that's the real pair. Sold in the mail, then put it up in the mid pocket. So let me hit it and land it down. Then give me a duck about that. But ain't no bucket ride that breed up. Hop on the 10 to the click. Ready to get 'em up with him at bills. And I can't shit to them, and I gotta get there. Player, holler. Snake clear got much to offer. When I bet we don't not that free. Up on the clock for some dollars. So get a bag of dope and a quarter roll. Oh, most all of my niggas got the same. We gonna roll it all up the smoke. And then they reefer hydro. You know the cut, so fucking pump out. Toss up the giggle, then roll with a clone the same hoe. Running through the alley, get in the alley. Up at the second, the sundown, no front from January, on 9 of December, I'm loving the first of the month.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Gotta grind, gotta get mine. Even who that I claim and I slang on the double 9. Gotta find them dubs. Wanna get full, get a thug, get love. What's up? Try to sing on my corner, nigga. Use a corner, St. Clair niggas don't like that. And selling them dummies, making that money. Come back, nigga, get that pap. From the 1st to the 15th, nigga smoke plenty weed, but I gotta say, gotta come up. Put my rocks in the club. When I get high, nigga, blaze that blood. Time to roll to the bag. Got on my profit and add it to the stash. Gotta watch my backseat for niggas that's trying to rob you. But never no shows and no losses. Don't make you beat these niggas up off me. See, could've sold the whole block. Spend a couple beers, smoke a lot of weed on the first. Wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, cash your checks and get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up.
Waking up feeling buzz up early in the morning, stretching up down and lightweight bitch. Chug a leg, take a fifth to the dawn. Instead I got geek with my true, but it didn't so I'm getting me hustle long. Hop on the phone, calling them crazy phone. And I know that your OG check comes. I'm hop on the bus with Big. And I'm coming with black after black of the skull. Nigga T just put me down. Oh God, how I love when it first come around. Now I'm freaking get black and mild. Head across town. Cause nigga the first get celebrated. Rushing to the block cause I wanna get faded. Looking on wild cause I'm needing me hair braided. We heavy off into this game. To the first, just call me that pro slime. The nickels and dimes, the 20s and 50s. The first be the day for the dope man. Slanging that cocaine food. And I'm working late tonight. And all them things be loving them thugs. Cause I got them rocks for them blocks. Come with the ends. I gotta get paid. On first, gotta blaze up my split. Get live with it. Both us poetic hustlers in the graveyard shift on the first.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. Wake up, wake up, wake up, it's wake up, wake up. Get up, get up, get up.
Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Wake up, get up, get up. 4 minutes past the top of the hour. It is the first. It is the first of the month. Yours truly, Joe Dupree, in the building from 100 BLK, the Black Station, at www.the100blk.com. My brother from another mother, sporting that New York Knicks hat from New York City. Yeah, he's there. Producer of the opener lines and keeping it real with Al Sharpton. Brother Fatine, good morning, my brother. How you doing this morning?
Good morning, brother Joe. Good morning. I like you, but I love you, but I don't like you, man. You send me some clouds, but as long as it's not going to rain, I'm good today. But we need some rain time to time. But it's not going to rain. It's just a little foggy, a little overcast right now. And yeah, a little overcast in Madison Square Garden. 25 seconds. Knicks are up by about 5 points, and they wind up losing last night. So now we got to go to game 5. So let's see. We got to do what we got to do. But no fear. We'll have to beat these boys. And I want to beat them I want to really beat them at their home. I don't want to come back to the Garden and take it. I don't want that pressure on us.
Okay. And on the phone line, broadcasting live from Opelousas, Louisiana, it is none other than Shauna Sias, the conduit. Shauna, are you on the line?
Come on in the room. I said, come on in the room. Jesus is my doctor, and he'll write out all of my scripture, and he'll give me all of my medicine in the room. Hey, how y'all doing?
Do it all right. How you doing?
Good morning, Sister Shauna.
Talk to you. Good morning, Fatine, with your little message.
Yeah, I knew you could. I knew. I'm gonna try not to be messy today, but if I have to, I ain't got no problem. I ain't scared. Like late Bernie Mac said, I ain't scared of you, so.
And with the best of them, baby, I can stand with the best of them. Good morning.
So we want to send a quick prayer out to our fourth horseman, Sister Jax, because Sister Jax had some oral surgery done on her, and we're just holding her up in prayer. She may be in the chat, but I know she was definitely in recovery mode, and she'll be back soon, family, because when Jax is not on, oh my God, my phone starts blowing up left and right. Jax and Shauna, when both of you, when people already texting me going, I ain't seen Shauna's face in a while. Is Shauna okay? So, when both the ladies ain't on, everybody loses their mind. Us men can be missing in action for 25 days. Nobody even send a search party looking for us. But we are happy to know that everybody are concerned about our ladies. So we sending up prayers and quick recovery for Jax.
That's what she gets for putting that Fabuloso in her mouth. That Fabuloso, that too fat.
Yeah. I got a question for you both this morning.
Talk to me now. Talk to me.
So on this show, we talk about a lot of issues, and I don't need to list them. And, we go so around the world on issues. And of course, there's a lot of news dealing with the protest and everything. But I have a question about in your area. And see, This is what we talk about on this show. And when I heard this yesterday, it just made my blood boil more. And it made me, how we went off yesterday, with Brother Guidry and everything, and still lift brother up. But, the folks that come at us when we're talking about the racism that goes on amongst us in our community and across the country, it's like we blow it off, we deflect, and we talk about sometimes our personal agendas. And I understand our personal agenda, but sometimes it's bigger than us. Let me just read this to you. And then I'm gonna throw it to you and Shauna, and I'm gonna just shut up because I'm pissed this morning. I'm pissed.
Read it.
Wealthy white Louisiana residents went right to split from Baton Rouge and form their own city. A group of wealthy white Baton Rouge residents have won a decades-long battle to split from the majority black city to form their own suburb following a state Supreme Court ruling. After reversing a lower court's decision on Friday, the Supreme Court ruled 4-3 in favor of the incorporation of St. George, which will form in Southeast Baton Rouge. This is the culmination of citizens exercising their constitutional rights. We voted and we won, Andrew Morrow, one of the leaders of the St. George campaign, said in a statement following the victory. Now we begin the process of delivering on our promise of a better city, he added. We welcome both our friends and foes to table to create St. George. Explain, talk to me about this here.
So before Shauna even comes in, I used to live in St. George. I used to live in that part of Baton Rouge. And for the longest, there are some very wealthy people that lived. I lived actually about 2 streets into St. George. I didn't live in, I lived in a very nice neighborhood. It wasn't one of the super wealthy neighborhoods there. And I never understood the dynamics of all of that, but I did understand that they had problems with, of course, Baton Rouge itself, and the governance and the ruling bodies in Baton Rouge. Once again, man, it just comes to show, Brother Fatim, that you have the haves and the have-nots, and the haves know how to work the law to their advantage. And they know how to work the law even to change things and make things work for them. You and I had a conversation yesterday. Sister Shauna will talk about it. We talk about the food deserts here in Louisiana. Well, I did a little research to make sure I was 100% sure, and actually I was wrong. I told you in my neighborhood, which is correct. In my neighborhood, in the zip code I live in here in Louisiana, the family medium income average is $18,000 a year. I'll say that again. $18,000 a year is the average medium income in the area that I live in. If I put in Shauna in this, in certain, and from my area to Shauna's area, that actually drops down to 17. That's below the poverty line. And Shauna brought up yesterday about products and services and food and produce. And you have to understand, some folks don't even have transportation. Some folks, the only transportation they have in the area I live in is Ike and Mike, is their feet. We don't have we have public transportation, but we don't have what you would consider public transportation, Brother Fatim. We wouldn't have what Sister Jax considers public transportation. People who live in Chicago, people who live in major metropolitan cities like Atlanta, we don't have the MARTA. We don't have the subways. We don't have the public transportation like they have in New York. Most people here, the only way they get around is on their feet. And once again, the average family medium income is $18,000. So when you see something like that in Baton Rouge, what you really have is people who have money insulating themselves in their own place, where they can elect their own mayor, their own board, and make their own rules. They can literally govern their own city, because we are, listen, I found this out last night. We are a country that was formed on laws, governance, and self, and putting together groups that believe in the same thing, roll the same way, and normally live in the same neighborhood. Sister Shauna, I'm gonna just
wait. Hold on before Sister Shauna goes. I gotta add this, because I really want to concentrate on this. I understand what you said, Joe, and we talked about this yesterday. But this is a big situation that's happening in Baton Rouge. The NAACP, however, maintained it fears that the formation of St. George will negatively impact Baton Rouge's majority Black community. The NAACP went on to say, the St. George plan poses significant risk to our education system, threats the continuity of critical programs, and challenges community representation. The local chapter of NAACP said in the statement released Monday, the creation of a new municipality introduced considerable uncertainty around funding allocation for our schools, jeopardizing the cornerstone of our community future education. I've talked about this before about gentrification, how when these communities are changed or created, then the resources pour in because of the wealthy and what they spend and what people come in to do. And it's going to pull whatever little resources that the Black community was getting, which was not a lot. And see, this is why we have this conversation about equity, equality. That's why DEI is so important, but they dismantle that. They dismantle
They're doing that all over the country. They're doing that all over the country.
Matter of fact, we're talking to Kimberly Crenshaw today on Reverend Sharpton's show about the Day of Action. The Day of Action is this Friday, May 3rd, and we'll talk more about that. But now, Sean, I want, because this is critical. This is what's happening to our Black community. So now these folks have taken a part of the community and now they are going to take it out. And what happens now? And it's, remember, it's on race. It's wealthy white folks. Sister Shauna?
So, I was listening. Child. So I guess maybe I can prelude it with this. Last year, 2023, I'll have a transparent moment. Shauna Sykes, in 2023, which is when most of my health issues occurred, with 3 children, 3 of them in college, made $15,075. All right? $15,000 a year 2023. All right? I am at a certain level very ignorant to the situation you're talking about in Baton Rouge. So I won't make specific comments, but I'll say this. The rich white folk, as you put it, can go and literally create an area that I guess they're attempting to isolate us or whatever it is. All right, because I didn't hear anything about we can't go in that area, right? Why can't we do this? I've said this before, that if we were back in Martin, and I want to say, Fatine, you schooled me on this. Even Martin at one time said, oh, hold up, I think we done made a mistake. We were fighting to set counters to eat people's food that was seasoned with salt and pepper, and it's disgusting. Why do we have to keep worrying about being included? If they can do it, if it works for them, if it's their constitutional right, why don't we go and do the same thing?
You know, I agree with you, Shauna, and that's why, you know, the St. George, the issue you're talking about, really, Brother Fatim, is old news. I know it was challenged, and everybody in Baton Rouge, because I lived in Baton Rouge. Before I moved to Lafayette, to be exact, when I left Grambling State University, first place I moved to was Baton Rouge. I worked for ESPN Radio in Baton Rouge. I worked for a gospel station in Baton Rouge, WXOK, which is one of the oldest Black radio stations in Baton Rouge. So for years, I lived in Baton Rouge until I moved to Lafayette. And I worked for Southern University, worked for LSU in their sports department. And you know, I always tell people Baton Rouge is a tale of two cities. And I actually lived in St. George. The first place I lived in Baton Rouge was a part of St. George. I lived in a community that was a part of St. George. It was just at that time a suburb of Baton Rouge. And there's some very, very, Master P used to live in St. George. Master P used to live in St. To be exact, I think Donald Trump used to have a house in St. George, if I'm correct, because they have a big golf course out in the St. George area, Santa Maria. That's I believe is a part of that St. George area. But those citizens got together. They worked the system. They knew the laws, and that's what we've got to start doing. We've got to start getting folks who can tell us how the laws work and work the laws to our advantage. Because many times that's just not what we're doing, Brother Fatim. You know, and
we don't need it to direct us for that. We have good understanding. We have the ability to read and understand with comprehension. We don't need anybody to direct us anymore.
I didn't say, hold it, Shauna. I didn't say we needed, hold it, Shauna. I didn't say we needed folk who don't look like us. We have some very highly educated folks that look like us. You know, let's celebrate something right quick. I'm gonna do something where you and I can throw a hand clap out there. Congratulations to the law firm of Duran and Hawthorne, who worked together with the Opelousas City School Board and dealt with the laws to get the state championship that was taken away from Opelousas High back to Opelousas High as it rightfully should be. So I'm going to give them a round of applause and a hand clap, because we got some highly intelligent, smart folks that are in legal
but
and
I think,
all other places.
But I think we're missing the point here. It's not about us doing the same thing. We already are in silos and in segregated communities. We don't have the resources, the income, as you talked. Shauna just said something that it hurt my heart. It hurt my heart. And then somebody will come on, well, Brother Fatim, the cost of living is different in Opelousas. I don't care if the cost of living. It hurts my heart that Shauna just had to say what she had to say.
Come on.
And I don't care if I'm in New York. That's that Shauna, and I say this with love to you, my sister, but it hurts my heart. That's money that I made when I came out of college. That's money I came out of college. I want to tell you, want me to tell I came out of college in 82. And when 2023, my sister is struggling like this. This is how.
Let me add, I just sent you a screenshot of my wages from the Social Security Administration. And I'm not doing this for pity or sympathy. Far from it. I'm doing it to show people what us Black women, Black parents, Black people have to make miracles with. We have to make miracles with the crumbs that they give us. Literally. And it's not because I am uneducated. I'm a licensed practical nurse in the state of Louisiana and been in the medical profession for 7 years. They don't treat us like everyone else. They don't give us the resources. But if they go, like you mentioned with St. George, that's what resources. Well, let's go make our own so we can get access to the same resources.
Mm-hmm. And
then we need to tenant them back. Period.
So you know,
I don't go and try to get people to feel sorry for me. I need people to understand that this is what people are dealing with.
Yeah,
right.
And it's not because
and it's not just Shauna. I speak on here constantly, and it's not just Shauna. There are a lot of people in the rural South. There are a lot of people in the South. There's a lot of people in this country, period, that are not functioning with a livable wage. Listen to me, family. I say this, and I say it so calmly, because these are the fights we need to fight. You know, you have the haves that have so much, and you have the have-nots that have so little. And somewhere, I say it's gluttony that folks have so much that they don't even pay attention to those that don't have. And it's not that, don't get me wrong, we have issues and problems, and some don't want to work. But let's focus on the ones who do. There are a lot of us who go to work 2 and 3 jobs, and they're barely making it. BMI. Mind you, if you're working 2 or 3 jobs, let's say that you're working 3 jobs, and you combine those 3 jobs together, and you're barely making, watch this, $40,000 a year. That's shameful, because those 3 jobs is literally taking up every bit of your time. And you don't have no time to be a family person. You don't have a time to do nothing but work and probably grab a little rest. You're not grabbing sleep, because you're not getting a full 6-7 hours of sleep. Go ahead, Shauna.
Let me add this to that. I sent the picture. One year I did have 3 jobs, and I only made $43,000, which was just enough not to be able to receive government assistance.
Yep.
So
And
at the time, I had small kids. We got daycare. We have daycare fees. We have diapers. We have food, and because when you're a nurse, you make, I think it was $13 too much to receive anything. $13. Now take that and do what you will with.
So,
yeah, but let me just say this, Joe. Let me just say this. Hold on. Let me just say this.
Come on, brother. For
So the other night, just a casual conversation with one of our viewers, Eddie Bonnet and his wife. This was not on no podcast, just us chopping it up a little bit, just, a little downtime on Friday evening and talking. And we were talking about some of the people that milk the system. And I understand that, but like Joe, you just said it, but I have to put more attention on it. I have to be passionate about this. You're worried about more people milking the damn system because you say, I'm paying taxes, but you're not raising your voice for the people that are on the system and still under the poverty line. You're still, see, that's what I'm saying. Our priorities are so mixed up. Yeah, we can say, yeah, I know our taxes are going, and there are some people, but the majority of people that are on the system that have to be on the system for that, whatever the reason is, it's still not really enough at the end of the day. It's still not enough. But again, our priorities, you got to realize we operate at times where we are at. And a lot of times there's not enough compassion. And it's just not only what we're talking about now and about wages, it's talking about when other people are suffering and other people standing up. We were just, we didn't even get into it just yet about the protests. People are lifting their voices for other people that are suffering now. And they're worried about people taking over a building and worried about a commencement while over 34,000 innocent people have lost their lives. Where is the humanity in us as a people right now?
Brother Fatim, I have been saying this. Ask yourself, many of us cannot put ourselves in those positions because we've never experienced that. I know how it feels to walk out of a tent and look at a city that has been demolished. A lot of folks don't know how that feels. They don't know that look. They don't know that feeling when you go into an area like an Aleppo, when you go into a Mogadishu in Somalia, when you go into a place that has been bombarded to the point that buildings, if you the only people who even slightly maybe have some inkling of how that feel are folks who are in Tornado Alley or in a hurricane area where when the devastation of the storm just rips buildings apart. But when you go into these places that have been war written, and you see that, a lot of folks don't even know how that feels unless a storm hits their neighborhood. If if a tornado goes through a neighborhood, a lot of folks will be like, wow, this is some real destruction. And they compare it to it. They say, man, this looks like a war zone. It's close. It ain't even really that close, though. If you could kind of intensify that, it's sad that we don't have a humanistic part of us that reaches out and say, what can we do to the least of them? The Bible even speaks about that. And I hate that Jax isn't on here, and I hope she recovers quickly. But, the Bible said, what you do unto the least of them, you do unto me. And then we try to justify that by also in the Bible, it does say that the poor will be with us always. But I believe that we have the answer to resolve that. Look at places like Houston. I'm glad you brought this up. Look at Houston. Houston is a great example. Houston right now is on the forefront of resolving the issue of homelessness. How? They're not going out there to the encampments and saying, look, I see you're on drugs. I see you're not eating. I see this. I see that. We're going to get you on government assistance. We're going to get you this. We're going to get you that. No, Houston says, before we even get you any help to help you with your issues of life, we're going to get a stable roof over your head. So they start off and they take people when they're still in substance abuse having problems with their kids and feeding. When they put them in stable housing first, and then once they get them with a stable roof over their head, they begin giving them the services they need to help them with their addictions. They put the horse before the cart and not the cart before the horse. And I think too many times, and I say this all the time, people are profiting off of our poverty. They're profiting off of our problems and our pain. And family, you got to follow the money, and we've got to start voting. Your vote is your voice, and your voice has power. Understand this. If all of us would show up to the polls and vote our consciousness, vote for folks who can be the right folks to help us, man, things could change. We're going to go to the phone lines. Caller, welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. Tell us your name, where you're calling from. Do you have a question or a comment?
Comment. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Hello. Good morning, family. This is Michonne from New York. You brought up something that tricked me when you said you brought up Houston and how Houston is taking care of the priorities of their community, which is bringing the people that are addicted on drugs or have mental issues. And the reason why I want to comment on that, because I've dealt with the homeless, and I've been homeless a couple of times here in New York City. And it was a fight. Everything around who was supposed to help you didn't. They went against you, which was very strange. But one of the issues was I went to the U.S. Department of HUD. And because that's what I used to go to everybody's office to get answers and to try to resolve not just my family homeless issue, everybody else's. And you know what one of the issues was? I wasn't eligible because I didn't have a drug problem. Or in order for me to get housing assistance, I had to be mentally ill. And so there is a gray area right there that needs to be addressed, and it gets overlooked. Also, Brother Fatim, I've done so many boycotts and rallies, like over hundreds, okay? And the issue with that is, as a Black American woman, it still seems like our problems get overlooked, and
Correct.
It's not fair. And
Yes.
So we really need to focus on us right now in everything. And that's why this reparation movement is key. Nobody else but us first, because we can look, how are we going to boycott for everybody else all the time, and we're homeless, and we're underpaid, and we don't have our necessities. So, I mean, something has to give right now. Thank you.
Let me, Michonne, let me just say this. She said a mouthful. And Reverend Sharpton was talking yesterday with a Reverend Waldron out of New York as well on his national syndicated show. And Reverend Waldron heads up First Corinthians Baptist Church here in Harlem, New York, and someone that I want to get on our broadcast. And he was talking about these protests on college campuses. And he said I'm not taking away from what's going on in the Palestinian people in Gaza. But he said it's so ironic that we, as a people, as Sister Michonne said, as Black people in this country, have had very important issues that we didn't see the same energy and the rallying cry for our issues. And it's not that we don't want to support them, because, we're still going to stand on not tit for tat, but doing the right thing. But it comes a time that, we do need to concentrate on us first. Reparations is one of those things, but there's a lot of more issues, like you just said, Sister Michonne, and you're not selfish. And it is about time that we say, you know what? We've done this because we can empathize. We can understand why we stand with you, because we know how it is to be in the underbelly. But you're right, Sister Michonne. It is time for us to focus on us and take no prisoners as we go. Yeah, we know that there's some good people out there in all races, and we know there's some bad people. But right now, we as Black people here in America and across this damn globe continue to catch hell because our freckles are too close together. And because of that, it's about time that we start to uplift our own voices now, because too many times we stand with others. They use what we have fought for to gain their rights and then turn their backs on us. Those days need to be over with right now. Thank you, Sister Mashar.
And that was a great comment. That was a great rebuttal to that comment. Phone lines are open, 225-250-8770, 225-250-8770. It is hashtag Truth Be Told, 35 minutes past the hour, and it is the first of the month. And family, we've got to wake up. We've got to wake up. We really got to wake up, and it's time that we start taking care of our own. Once again, I will infer to anybody. Everybody's welcome to come on here. You don't have to literally have our point of view. You are welcome to call. You're welcome to tell us how you see it. We would love even folks who do have opposing points of view to tell us, why is it such a difference between neighborhoods? Why is it that in some neighborhoods of color, there are so impoverished and things are going on, while other non-melanated communities are thriving and doing great things, and then we just got to get to the point where I'm like, Fatim, where's the humanality? Where is it are we so gluttonous? And what I hate is when I see highly educated Black folks who have made it, who in no shape, form, or fashion want to help anybody, anywhere, but their own little clique and circle, who happen to be wealthy and rich just like them. That's sad to me. Charity starts at home and then spreads abroad. With all the millionaires and everybody we have in our communities that are Black and brown in this country, we should have enough money to help pull all Black and brown folks out of poverty. But we're too busy. First of all, some of us ain't as wealthy as we say we are. We Donald Trumping it. Yeah, we trumping it. Trump say that he got this, and this, but under a microscope, or when you start looking at the books, he really don't. And we got to stop that. Stop trying to be what you're not. 1 + 1 still equals 2. So some of you, the car you driving is not your car. It's not your car. It's not your car anyway, until you got the title in the hand. The house you living in is not your house. Some of you telling folks that that's your house, you buying the house, you actually either leasing the house or renting the house. Come on, family. We've got to be truthful with one another, and we've got to work on wealth building. We've got to work on understanding money and economics, because money and economics is causing all kind of problems on all levels throughout the Black and brown communities. I belong to an organization that right now, my God, it seems to be that lack of understanding of money is making folks not understand that if 1 + 1 = 2, but what you're trying to buy equals 5, you can't buy it. If 1 + 1 = 2, but what you're trying to buy equals 5, you can't buy it. You don't have enough money. And if you do get it and you don't have the way to pay it off, not only do you wind up in a position that you have it for a season, you can't maintain it, you mess up your credit, and you put yourself in a position that you wind up losing what you had, and you wind up in a worse off position than you was before you got it. We got to wake up, family. We got to wake up, Brother Fatim.
You said it well, Joe. I mean, we talk about this a lot on the show, and, I don't like to continue to beat a dead horse. I hate to say it like that, but I just don't like to keep going over this rhetoric.
We need to, Brother Fatim, because it's not changing. And until we get to the point that we get so sick and tired of being sick and tired, that
Well, it is, Joe, it is.
Watch this. Brother, you and I love Reverend Al when y'all say this. Until talk becomes action, it ain't nothing but a bunch of hot air. And we got to start turning a lot of our talk into action, where we can come to a place that we see a positive change. until the talk turns into action and the action turns into change, all we doing is bumping our gums. And guess what? That's what we need to stop doing. Brother Fatima.
Well, yeah. I mean, like I always said, you know, and the cliche statement is, you know, from one perspective, the glass is half full, and from another perspective, the glass is half empty. And you know, the reality is that they all exist. They all exist. There are people that are not doing well. Then there are people that are doing well. There are people that have learned and have not made the same mistakes that some of the folks that came before them. Some of them have applied that. And that's why I said that it's one thing for us to identify and talk about the problem. It's also our responsibility to show people's actions that are doing things that have been solutions to the problem. One thing is we're doing is we expose it, but another responsibility is to say, hey, here's a group of people, here's a group of young people that are doing this, here's a group of people that did this 20 years ago. I remember the book about the doctors out of Newark, New Jersey, right there where Sister Jax, you know, and Jax is, you know, a little high on the chat right now because of pain, man. But no, so prayers to you, my Sister Jax, to get better, you know, with the oral surgery. But you know, these doctors came together and they made a pact. They were childhood friends, and they made a pact to come together and build something. There was a Black community in Maryland, a wealthy Black community, but it didn't start like that. But it was a group of Black folks that decided this is what we wanted for our community, and they came together. You know, the issues is, do you have the resources? Can you build or get the resources and do this to get to the next level? Our job is to present the problems, present some solutions, so that we can show that we are making strides. We have made some strides, and we've made some great strides out here. Some people are doing very well as entrepreneurs, this, that, and the other. But remember, if everyone doesn't make it, if one person don't make it, we all haven't made it. You understand what I'm saying? And that mindset is just about nation building and looking out for your brother and sisters and not being a crab in the barrel and pulling yourself down. So there's just a lot that we are up against. We can name one problem. We can name problems outside of our community that we have to fight, but we can also name problems that we're fighting inside our community. We can name things that have been against us that cause us problems. So it's just so much that cause us to survive that we can't focus on building because we're trying to survive to the next day. We're trying to rob Peter to pay Paul. How do you build when you're surviving on crumbs? You can't build a nation when you're just surviving.
And you know, and that's where now it's conversations like this, Brother Fatim. These are the days that I would love for folks to call in. I would love for folks to even hit me up and say, Joe, let me come on the video. I'm going to tell you about products and services. I'm going to tell you about means and ways that and proven strategies that we have to pull us up out of this impoverished state. But see, that's the crazy thing. We'll talk mess all day long. We'll talk who's doing what or who should be recognized for this or that, but we will not talk strategies to bring about a change in our communities. And I say again, here's why. People are profiting off of your poverty, your pain, and your problems. And guess what? If I eliminate the poverty, the pain, and the problems, I also eliminate their profits. Listen to what I just said. When you resolve these issues, all of a sudden now you put some folks who were making money in a position that's the money they're not making anymore. Look at some people talk about, let's talk about housing. What little I know about housing, and I'm not a big housing guy, but what little I know about housing. I told you what the average income is in this area. $18,000 a year. We have people, and I'm going to post it tomorrow. I'm going to take some pictures of some homes. We have people who are, and I'm going to show you the pictures of the homes that are charging $500, $600, $700, $800 rent a month for houses that aren't even 1,000 square feet, that are old. Some are dilapidated. Some of them don't even have central air. They have that. Some of them don't even have a air unit in the window. They have box fans, and you're charging people $500, $600, $700, $800 rent. Then you have people who come on here to call themselves investment gurus, and we're big time in real estate and everything. If y'all are so doing so well and so wealthy, and y'all posting all these pictures of y'all taking these elaborate trips and driving these elaborate cars, why don't y'all build a complex and help some of these impoverished people get off their feet? You got it to give, because the way you make it seem like you got it to give, you acting like you balling. And if you balling that big, ball out and help some folks who can't help themselves. Some of y'all wealth ain't real wealth. Y'all show me wealth. Y'all stuff is either rented or leased. It ain't really yours. Y'all done connected with some white person that y'all really don't want us to know about. Because the truth about it is, on your own, you ain't got it like that. And then you ask yourself why we ain't got nothing. We ain't got nothing because those of us who try to show that we have something really ain't got nothing. Your stuff is fake and fabricated. Brother Fatim.
Yeah, I remember when Sister Soldier said in her book, not her fictional book, but her book, and she was making a statement, and I understood a statement was taken out of context. Well, she was talking about what was going on in our communities. And she was fighting against drug dealers and things like that, that we should not do that. But she's also saying, while these people are in our community, we got to hold them accountable. You understand? You got to invest in our community. And don't y'all know, I'll talk about it. Don't you know that there was people that ran numbers and were drug dealers, and I'm not uplifting them. They did what they felt that they had to survive. That's why I talked about the movie The Mac. Go watch the movie The Mac if you can find it. Is that people in the community made them accountable. You understand? We didn't want you in the community, but they operated in the community. So you have to give back. You're going to give money to open up that community center. You're going to give money to open up that park for those kids. You're going to make sure that the thugs don't peddle drugs to the kids and don't prey on the homeless and that. You understand? It's because that kind of mindset right there hopefully will strike something in those that are also doing negative in our community, to say, if you built this, maybe now you can turn your life around, because your life is turned around, but you're doing negative, and make that investment and go in a more righteous way. Because you're thinking like an entrepreneur. A lot of us are forced to do these kind of things to not only survive, but to put themselves in a better situation, because they just get tired of being on the downside of life. And I'm not justifying it. Please don't think I'm justifying it. But you got to realize that a lot of people are products of their communities. And when they become products of the communities, unfortunately, you come to that fork in the road. You can go good, and you can go right, or you can go left. And a lot of times when you try to go the right way and you get in, if you're lucky to get in corporate America, can you move up? Me and one of my old managers was talking the other day. There's companies out here that hold you down, don't let you move up. But you know what? You go 9 to 5. You're working 2 jobs, you're building their empires, and what are you getting? A little bit of crumbs while they're sitting in the big house eating good, sending their kids to private school, doing this, doing that, while you just, I'm a good employee, I'm doing what I got to do. And that's an upstanding statement. But we're not nation building, folks. We got to nation build. We can't just complain. We have to do the things that we need to do to get us out of this situation.
It's the propaganda machine. Once again, let me say this. When the propaganda machine tells you that success equals that you drive a Mercedes, an Audi, or a BMW, or you drive some elaborate European car, the propaganda machine says that's success. The propaganda machine doesn't tell you that wealth building, nation building is success. No, the propaganda machine says that if you buy a certain house in a certain neighborhood, now you've achieved success. If you get a certain position at a certain job, now that is success. If you wind up acceptable and get certain invitations to certain parties and get to go to certain circles and hang around certain folks in certain political and non-political circles, now you're successful. That's what the propaganda machine tells you. But the truth about the matter is, until you begin not only first to take care of yourself and those around you, but begin to build your neighborhoods, your communities, your cities, your states, until you build your nations. Come on, family. We got to do better. I have never seen so many people buy so much but be so poor. That was very country what I just said. And I'm going to say it again. I've never seen people buy so much but be so poor. We got the nicest looking dresses. We got the nicest looking suits. We got the nicest shoes. We drive the nicest cars. All this. But we absolutely have nothing. Brother Fatim said it best. We're robbing Peter to pay Paul. Many of us are so deep in debt, that sometimes you can't even tell your spouse or your kids how close y'all are to losing everything, to being homeless. Man, wake up, family. Wake the hell up. And here's what even makes me more mad than anything else. That in the process of all that, there's people like Fatim, myself, Sister Jack, Sister Shauna, other folks out there who have great, outstanding informational machines to give you the information to put you in a position where we rise up, we begin to take ownership, we begin to bring about our speeches into action, our action into change, and our change into something that's tangible. Then we got folk out there that's fighting, we're fighting one another. Black folks talking bad about other black folks, because we're trying to figure out who got the best podcast, who got the best talk show. Who got the best this? Who got the best that? Who getting the most awards? And our communities are dying. Every day, every week, I'm turning on the TV and black folks are killing black folks. And until we fix that amongst ourselves, you can't really tell me anything. And that's an us problem. Because Malcolm said it best, who taught you to hate you? But then let's go to the next line after that. Malcolm said, after he said, who taught you to hate you, he said, that's where we need to rise up and begin to love one another and release ourselves from those who have taught us to hate us, and understand that it was never designed to be that in the beginning. It was designed that way once we got here. Brother Fatim.
But a lot of people don't, this is not an easy task. That's why, when, and Jax is the best person to talk about this. But I remember in the Bible, I don't know exactly where. I believe it may be in Matthew's. I'm not sure. But it was talking about where Jesus, was notified. He was notified that some of his family members was outside, and he was basically saying, "My family is the one that follows
Right.
the Lord's way and the Lord's word. That's my family." And what I'm saying is, the point I'm trying to say is, we talk this. Go talk to your family and see how easy it is to get them to convert and stop doing some of the bull crap that they're doing. You can't. They don't want to hear it. And those are your blood folks. That's why people decide, you know what? I'm just going to go out there and work with those folks that I can help, that is open to hear what I'm saying and to make a change in their life. Try it with your family. We tried it with our family with just dietary stuff. Yo, this ain't healthy for you, man. I've been eating this, man, all my life, man. I'ma just die so-and-so. I ran into a guy last 2 nights ago buying cigarettes the other day. I didn't sit there and say they bad for you. He honestly bought the wrong pack. He wanted the 100s and he got a smaller pack. I said, yo, bro, that's a sign that maybe that's a way of weaning off of doing it. Man, I'm 69 years old, been smoking all my life. It's too late to do this. So that's their mindset. That's why I keep telling y'all, it's harsh, It's harsh what I'm going to say. I'll be nice about it, but bump their asses. Bump their asses. That's what I said before. I love you, but hell with you if you're not going to try to make a change in your life and make a difference. Because if all you're going to do is complain, but continue to drink acid, ain't nothing I can do for you. And that's such a sad reality. I got to move on and help people that want to be helped.
We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome to hashtag Truth Be Told. Give us your name, where you calling from. Do you have a question or a comment?
Yeah, I just want to piggyback off of something Brother Fatigue said. You know, we keep beating the same horse, man. And then I'm gonna have to agree with you on this, man. You know, we not making but $40,000. You know, all our jobs, all of the black people's jobs, most of them, bro, is making $40,000 to $60,000 a year. But we want to go and get put in these homes. We want to go get put in these homes that's $300,000 and these car notes. Our money don't amount to the things that we want. We like the old folks used to say, but we have the big eye. We live too much on our wants instead of our needs. You know, we as blacks, I'm gonna put it like that to me, bro. We as blacks, we want to be better than the next one. Mr. Joe, I'm gonna use me. Timmy just want to be better than Joe. Timmy want to be bigger than Fatigue, but Timmy money don't count for what he's trying to get, bro. So instead of we need a 0.10% of an acre in a wash house to our kids, we don't even have our name on 0.10 of an acre in a wash house. Yet anything else, because that's why them people, hey, bro, we get income tax, and we don't hold it past 12 days, man. We spend it. We got liquid money. That's why they got every business in the hood of other people come and take our money. They know we ain't gonna hold it because we don't want it. We do not want to have wealth to pass to our kids, but we don't want generational wealth because we want to look better than the next man. But that's our problem. That's our problem to me, bro. I don't want to be bigger than Mr. Doe. I don't want to be better than Brother Fatigue. I want to be equal, bro. Jesus, look, our race want all the big things. Jesus never even had a house, never had a car. Jesus had a donkey, was born in a manger, bro. We gotta prioritize our life, brother. You know, that's all I wanted to say, man.
Thank you, Brother Tim, for calling in. Listen, you know, the truth about it is, and Brother Tim, I want you to be the best Brother Tim you can be. I want Brother Fatim to be the best Brother Fatim he can be. I want to be the best Joe I can be. And if in that diaspora, anybody exceeds somebody, I'm happy for them. I want you to be the best you can be. I want you to be, you being the best you can be may be far better than I'll ever be. But being the best that you can be, take your best and come back and help our community with your best. That's where the mistake comes in. See, we get to this place where we're better than others, but we never come back and take our best to help bless those that we left behind. No, we all of a sudden want to be the best around all them other folks that don't look like us. Come on, family, we got to do better. Come on, I want you to be, if Fatim, there are a list of things. I can give you 10 things that Fatim does quite well and better than Joe. And I'm glad that Fatim does that, because I can't do that. My brain doesn't comprehend it. Brother Fatim is very good with electrical engineering. I'm not. I don't know how that works. I don't know how that works. But I'm thankful I have a good friend named Brother Fatim who does, because if I have a problem, I can call him and say, hey, Brother Fatim, I have this electrical engineering problem. I can't solve it. Can you help me? And because we're friends, he does. And vice versa. There's things that I'm very good at that Brother Fatim will call and say, Joe, I need some help on this. Our problem is people, I say this all the time, I post it all the time because I mean it from the bottom of my heart. People want you to do good, especially people of color. But a lot of people of color want you to do good. They just don't want you to do better than them because of jealousy, envy, and because we are confused and lost. And it don't look sexy. No, it don't. It don't look cute. When I see Black women and Black men who are envious, jealous, and backbiting and talking about one another, because the truth about it is the person's better than you. And instead of you just saying, man, that sister got it going on, that brother got it going on, you got to spew all the tea, all the hate, all the mess. And that's why we're not getting anywhere.
Yep. Mashawn Bain,
Clap for
listen
some
to
clap, ring
Yeah.
some bells, go up and tell a sister, sis, you look good today. Go up to a brother and say, brother, I'm proud of you. See what you're doing, and I believe that you do everything you put your mind to. Here's
You sounding robotic, Joe. Joe just hung. Joe, you just hung. So I'll take over to those that can hear me until Joe can get his self together. And so Mashawn Bain says, or asks the question, when are we starting the no buy movement? Now, Sister Mashawn, we talked about this on the show. Listen to what I'm going to say. And you know I have so much respect for you, Sister Mashawn. You know that. So this is not a criticism at all. We're not ready for that. We are not ready for that. And I'm going to tell you why. It's a great idea. We talked about it, and I think it's something that we should do. We need to understand that there are certain steps in life that we need to take. We need to take baby steps, and then we also need to sometimes take a leap. And what do I mean by that? Sometimes we need to make short-term goals, and we also need to make long-term goals. A lot of times we just make these long-term goals, and then sometimes we get defeated and feel down when we don't reach those goals. So that's why we need to start short-term goals, so you can start to see the achievements that you are making, and it inspires you, it motivates you. And as you start to continue to work towards your long-term goals, you're building up that momentum. So what do I mean about the no buy movement? Yes, that's one of our long-term goals, but that should not be our main focus right now. Our main focus is, what can we do in a sense of setting some short-term goals of making ourselves better? And by doing that, start to see how we are improving. When we see that, you'll see that, whoa, I believe in myself. I see the difference now. I see the difference in not only me, I see the difference in my son. I see the difference in my cousin. I see the difference in my next door neighbor. I see the difference by us concentrating and showing what we can do. Now we're not only doing it individually, we're doing it as a collective. That's the short-term goal, even though we got the long-term goal about the no buy movement. But as we're building up, by the time we say, all right, y'all, it's time to get in that no buy movement, guess what? We done knocked out 5 to 7 goals to make ourselves better and put ourselves in a better position, that things are starting to happen while we're sleeping because we put in the work. And now when we go for the long-term goal, we're more motivated, and we can use examples of setting those goals and achieving those goals, that now we can get bigger in our ideas and our goal reaching search. So that's what I'm saying. Don't put that on the back burner, but I think that we need to start focusing on us a little bit more, on some short-term goals that we can see some progress sooner than later, to help inspire and motivate us, because we need not only self-reflection, we need determination, and we need to show that we can do this. A lot of us talk a good game, but we don't really believe in it.
That's real talk. It's 3 minutes past the hour. I want to put this in to everybody. Start with self. Hashtag. Y'all want to start a movement? Let's start it. Hashtag start with self. Starting today, start getting yourself in a position that when we do say we're going to do a day of boycott, a week of boycott, a day of solidarity, that you're in a position to do it. Understand, you can't go from lifting no weights to go trying to break the world record of lifting weights. You've got to condition yourself. You've got to get yourself in a position where you can do this. So family, let's start today. Hashtag, start this hashtag. Hashtag, I'm going to put it in here. Hashtag, start with self. Hashtag, start with self. Yeah. I'm putting it in there. Start with, Sorry, y'all. But I'm putting it in the feed. Hashtag, start with self. Hashtag, start with self. Come on, family. We got to. Hashtag, start with self.
Mhm.
You know, we've got to get to the place where self-discipline, you listen, stop waiting for somebody to come save you. Do it yourself. Start reading, start researching, start thinking, start looking at what you can do to change your credit score. Start looking and seeing what you can do to start saving money where you can have your own savings. And it don't have to be an institutional saving. You can take X amount of dollars, get you a box and start putting it in the box every day or every week or every month. Listen to me, family. Hashtag start with self.
Yeah. And don't say it, write it down and see it. These are positive affirmations. Positive affirmations. Put it on the mirror every time you go in the bathroom. Every time you go in that bathroom and you look in that mirror, you see that positive affirmation. Put a check box. Put a check box by it that when you can check it off. For me, I got to deal with some things. I got to deal with some back taxes. Boom. I need to do this. I need to do that. I need to do this. Because if I'm not in a situation and IRS comes and hit me at the wrong time and then I can't pay this and pay that, I put myself in a bad situation. So that's how you start. Start with those goals, and then you start to see the achievement. I learned that from one of my former father-in-laws. He was like, listen, write it down, because sometimes it's not as bad as you think it is. You got to start to write it down and create a plan, but you got to see it. When you think it mental, you motivated for the minute, but then you get sidetracked. I got to cook dinner. I got to go to this. I got to go to that. Write it down and see it. See it and watch how and put a plan in place to achieve it. You understand? I knew last week I had to go do something dealing with my license plate, pay the taxes on it to get my sticker. It's May 1st. So if I get stopped and I don't have that sticker that says mine's on my car says April, the year 24. It's May 24 now. If I get stopped, I forgot, that creates more headache for me. So I went and paid it. Even if I don't receive my sticker in the mail, I got my receipt that I went and paid it. These are little goals, even though they're things that you need to do. A lot of us are procrastinators. Somebody told me long time ago.
Yes.
Somebody told me long time ago. I'll give you her name. Her name is Sister Alima. That was a cultural name. And Sister Tanya Hughes. And she said to me, because she was a doer, and even though I was a producer, she said, Fatina, you're a procrastinator. You're a procrastinator. And when she said that to me, my ego was bruised. But my wife looked over her and said, Fatina does accomplish a lot and he does do a lot, but I can see where he is a procrastinator. She came in and we were talking about the radio show. She said, you could do this, you could do that. She didn't even say it. She did it. She created it. And I was like, she created this in a minute of 30 minutes. So sometimes we got to look ourselves in the mirror, and sometimes we have to get honest, constructive criticism from our friends, our family, to say certain things. My cousins told me that my female cousins, if they watching this, and I give them the kudos. My cousins Pat, Dee, and Julie. Dee is the Debbie. Two of them are older than me, one is younger than me, and they will not bite their tongue. They'll tell me, yo, blah, 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 blah. And I want to hear that. And I want to hear that from the opposite sex. You know how hard it is to take advice from someone and then take it from the opposite sex as a man from a woman? But I know they got my back and they love me and I love them. Because I ain't going to bite my tongue when I have to tell them. But I don't say much to them on that because I don't have a problem, because they are my aunt's children, my mother's sister's children, and their mother, my aunt, didn't bite her tongue, and neither did my mother. And we need that, especially with my aunt and my mother are deceased now. We need that love. We need that wisdom from one another to become better. And that's what it's about, So sometimes when somebody calls you or say something, It may hurt your feelings, but damn it, look yourself in the mirror and say, is it true? When that young lady told me I was a procrastinator, she was right. Did I accept it right away? Hell no. Hell no. I wanted to argue with her. But when I walked out the room, I said, damn, she's 100% right.
You know, Brother Fatim, and I'm going to say this the best way I can. We're going to bring some motherfucker in here. You know,
Who that?
we got to start with ourselves. You know, we can fix these problems, but the problem, the solution to the problem always starts with you. You know, too many times we cast blame on others. Start with yourself. You listen, if you don't like where you're living, figure out a way to pack up and leave and move somewhere else where you can be more prosperous. See, some of us have accepted. Hold it. Somebody put it in here. Here's the reason why you procrastinate. Here's the reason why you don't move forward. You're scared. Fear. You're scared. You're scared. There's something that you believe that you're holding on to where you at that you can't let go because you believe fear and failure. Fear and failure. See, one thing about me, God has blessed me. I've lived all over this world. I can tell you I've seen the sunset in some places that you wouldn't believe. I'm not scared to pack up my bags and start all over from zero. Had to do it more than once. But that's what I tell people. That's how you can measure the worth of a person. If you are living in the town you were born and raised in, and you're a hometown hero, you're supposed to be a hometown hero in your home. Everybody's supposed to know you. Now take that same formula and move to a place that nobody knows you and see does that formula work. If it does, then not only are you a hometown hero, you are a person that is a catalyst that can bring about change. But if you never try that theory outside your home, all you are is a hometown hero. And too many of us are hometown heroes working in individual silos. And that's why we as a people cannot move forward. I said what I said. Sister Shauna, good to see you, my sister. What's going on?
Hi. She making me some grits, man. I hope she making me some grits over there.
They didn't put that in that food basket.
Oh, damn. What they put in there? Oh, don't. Ooh, boy, I'm about to say something, boy. I'm about to get me FCC'd out. Oh, Lord.
We're not regulated by the FCC.
Yeah, but I can't talk about what's in that food basket. They put her in there. Don't let me start. You know, right. I got a very mind. Ooh, my mind go everywhere.
So, how much is them tickets again?
Oh, Lord. Shadow, you something else.
I'm just saying. Did you see that picture I sent you?
Yeah, I looked at it just now.
How you like that? How you like them apples?
You talking about the numbers?
Yeah,
that's hard.
It's sad. It's horrible.
Hard.
It's hard. And listen, family, for those of you who are making a livable wage, I tell you right now, throw your hands up to the Lord if you believe in him. Throw your hands up to Allah if you believe in him. Worship Buddha if you believe in him. Ring day and Gong, whatever. Whoever you believe. If you believe in just yourself, pat yourself on the back. Because if you're making a livable wage, you should understand how blessed you are. Because there are so many folks out there that are not. There are so many folks out there that are BMI, barely making it. There's so many folks that are going to a job, job, just over broke. Just over one paycheck from losing everything. One paycheck from them and their families being homeless, having to pack up all their stuff and be on the streets.
You know what I reflect on sometimes? I've been in the nursing profession, Joe, long time, right? I've been from a CNA in 1997 to nursing school in 2010. Okay. And I can tell you that we don't make the money. We have medical insurance that we're never able to use because you can't call into work. I have worked in places where I couldn't even afford the services that I was giving somebody else. Working in doctor's offices where I can't even afford or have proper insurance to receive the tests that I need that I'm doing for somebody else. You know, and then it kind of rolls on over You know, because Joe, you know how people view me as like I'm always angry or I'm looking for the mess. No, we're already in the mess. I don't have to look for it. What I'm trying to do is find a solution. So that way my children don't have to try to see what it's like to make it on $15,000 a year. I want my children, and when I say my children, every kid I come in contact with for me. That was what God told me to do. Babies and old folks, suffer not the little children, is what he said. You know, but it becomes frustrating because when you give your all, you're that hometown hero. You give. I have given to others before I ate. I have given to others when I ain't had nothing to eat. Right? But in my mind, if I do for others, he gonna bless me. Right? That's what I feel. That's why I do. But to be in all actuality, sometimes those hometown heroes, them people that you look up to, that's on them grounds and them grassroots efforts, you know how difficult that is? Trying to help people that, number one, don't know they need help. They think they're okay where they are. They cannot see past the right now. You know how difficult that is? And then add to that $15,000. I had a man, Fatine, 2 weeks ago call my phone and told me, a white man at that, he was going to make sure that I never raised another dollar in this town again. That's what I get. You know why? Because we fight for equity. We fight for educational equity, health equity. We fight for financial equity. We fight for social equity. We're fighting all of these things against people who don't even look at us as people. We property, players. We're not people. If we can't do something for them and make them some money, we're not people. We're not people. Opelousas is in everybody's mouth right now. And I'm proud of everybody. I'm proud of everybody. But why we can't push education like we do them sports? I go to a school in Baton Rouge for teen every Tuesday and Thursday. Our children can't read. They can't write. And if they are reading, they're calling out words. There's no comprehension. There's no understanding. The reason why they fight so much and because why they always mad, because that's the only word they know. They don't know no other words how to describe their emotion. They don't know how to act. Why? Because you probably got a mama at home making $15,000.
Well,
and then they want to know why we like that.
Sister Shauna, and let's be real about this. Once again, if you really look at this and you look at it like it's a pyramid, those at the top are profiting from all the problems, the pain, and the poverty of those who are underneath them. Mm-hmm. So if you're making money off of folks' failure, if you're making money off of folks not being able to read, if you're making money off of folks who are committing crimes, because mind you, crime is big business.
Yes, sir.
Crime is big. Hold it. The policing of crime is big business. So let's call it what it is, family. Right now, let me tell you something. If you follow the money, you'll understand what's happening in Palestine. That's what y'all don't want to do. Y'all, everybody want to talk about who the chosen folks of God. No. Follow the money. Palestine ain't got nothing to do with the chosen folks of God. It has to do with following the money. And that's where, family, we've got to start with self. Like I said, you don't need, watch this, you can be poor, broke, and lonely today. But if you begin to discipline yourself, start with self and take, I don't care what it is. You can start with $5. You can start with $1 and begin to put that away in a box and don't touch it. If you discipline yourself and you start the regimen, you'll wake up one day and open up that box and be like, my God, I got a lot of money in this box. But you got to start with self, and you got to start somewhere. Brother Fatim said it best. We procrastinate. We talk a good game, but ain't nobody starting nowhere. And then when the enemy, and we have enemies, we have internal enemies, we have external enemies. We have enemies that don't look like us. We have enemies that look just like us. And when the enemy shows up and we haven't been prepared for the attack, that's where everything falls apart. Come on, family. We got to get ourselves in a preparedness mode. Brother Fatim, I can't wait till you bring Brother Aton on here. Because we're not prepared. We're not prepared.
When you're always in survival mode.
Right. And that's what I said earlier, that, it's hard, for us, like being roaches. Joe, put us back up there. I don't like solo bolo when we all here, because I love to see y'all expression. Thank you. So Sister Shauna said she goes to schools every Tuesday and Thursday. And Shauna, so Fatin is going to take in consideration what you just said about when you're in survival mode, it's hard to sometimes build, which I said earlier on the show. But follow me on this, because there got to be some accountability and responsibility here. And this is why we have to we pray that your family or your friends have that mentality of that village building. It takes a village to build a child. Because one of the things, Sister Shauna, is I watch our children. And I watch, sometime I see on TikTok, I see sometime on the reels on Facebook, I watch a little baby doing math, 2 times so-and-so, 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 so-and-so. And also a lot of ways that we were taught math was so outdated that there's so other quicker ways. My cousin is a math teacher and a tutor, and he won't retire. He could have retired like 4 or 5 years ago. But he says that, and he told me this back in the 80s, he said the school systems, at least in New York, was setting our children up for failure. He said that back in the 80s, and I look where we at today in the 21st century in 24. We could do better with educating our children. I'm not going to put my wife on a pedestal, but what I will say is it started two different pregnancies with my first child that was born and our second child was born. But she taught both of these babies. She was at home. I brunt the struggle, the financial burden, and this, that, and the other. And it was tough. But she stayed home and raised them babies. She taught them. So when they the first one went to kindergarten, she was already prepared. The other one went to this state school. Because my wife was totally disabled. She was able to get funding to send our younger daughter, Rakaya, to a state school where, you know how they did their lunch? They made their food in front of them. You see the difference in the mindset? So when my younger daughter went to kindergarten, she was even further advanced. We didn't allow them to skip her. But I'm talking to the parents that can do. And if you sending your child to a babysitter, they gotta be programmed. If you're spending money on Jordans and this and that, spend money on the resources, the tools that can teach your children. We got these here. I see children playing with phones. Teach them certain things on these computers, these tablets, these games that helps educate them that they are in a better situation. So when they go to school, they can comprehend. They can understand. We got YouTube. I'd laugh at it. But when we watched cartoons back in the day on Saturday morning, for me, conjunction, junction, what's your function? Hooking up phrases and clauses. And go back to that. Put that on your phone. Let them see that. They goes in their subconscious, and then they start singing it. Kids learn by tunes. They'll learn a rap song or a musical song quicker than they can learn the ABC. Why do you think there's A, B, C, D? It's because it's musical. We learn like that. We got to learn how to teach our children. Go ahead,
I'm glad you mentioned that. When my babies were growing up, Madison especially, that's my 18-year-old at LSU. She used to love the song since she was about 3 years old. On my mama, on my hood, I look fly. Yeah, I look good. So she in the back seat of the car like 3 years old singing the song. Mm-hmm. And I turned around. I said, that's singing them songs. You better learn them ABCs. Well, she took that and she would take my nursing books, because I was in nursing school. She would read my books, and then one day I noticed my child was counting to like 10. And then she was starting to sing the ABCs in the A, B, C, D, E, just all kinds of things. So I said that to say this. I let them enjoy what they wanted to enjoy only if they did what they were supposed to do first. That was actually a reward. You can listen to any song. I don't care if it got cuss words or not. We ain't gonna do too bad. But if that's what you wanted to do and you finished your homework, you've done your chores, and your report card on point, baby, go ahead on, fly it off. We'll dance together.
Well, and there's nothing wrong with that, Shauna. You know, I believe in just reward for righteous work, period. And a lot of folks don't do that. Unfortunately, in our communities, Brother Fatim, you're right. We need to give them tunes to learn, but we're not giving them positive tunes. Man, I can right now, listen, I can go down the street, and I live right down the street from what they would call the projects. I could go into the projects, and I promise you there's some 3 and 4 years old in there that know every word to NBA Youngboy. They know every word to Sexy Red. They know every word. If I ask them some simple questions that they should know as preschoolers, they don't know it. And that's the sad thing. Listen, just like anything else, if you don't put the right things into your body, you can't expect your body to be healthy, well, and whole. If you are putting your kids in front of nothing but gangster movies, gangster videos, gangster songs, and they grow up and all they talking about is shoot, 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 pop, pop, pop. When I see I'm gonna bust your head to the white meat, you programmed your child for that. You put them in front of everything that told them the only way to live this life is to slang dope, to shoot guns, to be promiscuous in sex. You put them in front of everything that told them this is how you live life. You didn't put them in front of anything that told them how to live life righteous and correct.
Let me just say this real quick. I know I'm gonna start somebody. Joe.
Yeah.
I did it.
Joe, put me back. Put us back. Oh, damn it. I didn't put G in that word. So I learned something this morning. And I'm not picking on Douglas Guidry on this one, but he's the one that talks about the hip hop music today. And I'm gonna prove a point about something. I learned something this morning. What you just said, Joe, I look back at adults did adult things and kids did kid things back in the day. And now it's so meshed together, the lines are blurred, that kids get so impressionable, they're getting things that they don't understand. We go to Cardi B and let me make a point. We go to this is what I learned this morning. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. They made a song called WAP, Wet at Panani. You know what I mean, right? I did not know that was a remake song, not a cover. A cover song, I'll teach y'all something. A cover song is a song that was out usually by a black artist back in the day. At the same time, then a white artist would come and cover it and then make it a hit. That's a cover. A remake is a song that was made in the past and somebody remakes it more in the future. That's a remake and a cover. So that's something you learn. I didn't know WAP was a song that was out in 1946. Oh, wait a minute. I learned that. I just Googled it to make sure. 1946, WAP was a song out. Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion remade that song. They didn't create that song.
Who made
I'll tell you in a minute. And
because 46, that was poodle skirts.
Well, I got songs that's even, I got songs worse than that. Not worse than that, but on that same level, that was earlier than that. The difference is, as kids, we didn't know that. Unless we snook in our parents' albums that was deep in the closet or something. They kept that separate. Now, what the point I'm trying to say is 2 points. The point is that the lines are blurred now, that there is no responsibility, because I'm not about, because me and Shauna talked about this, it's not about debating. I just think that you give kids when they are appropriate to understand certain things, and age is where they're at. So sometimes a 14-year-old for this family, in this family, a 14-year-old may be more on a 17-year-old level. So you understand? The point I'm making is we want to beat up this society, and I go about how we do things, but your society or your time was doing the same thing. It's just that you did it in an adult way. You understand what I'm saying? Meaning that adults know that. I can bring up some songs that Joe, I wouldn't ask him to play on here, but to prove the point, stop beating up on these young folks where you think that they have corrupted it. What that happened is the powers that be only put that out, and they put it out to the masses, and they don't counter that with anything good. That's the creative problem. I learned that this morning. 1946, what was a song?
So let's be real about this. And here's another thing, you know, as Brother Fatim does with me, let's tell the rest of the story. When you hear this music that is motivating these young folks, once again, I tell everybody in here, follow the money. It ain't young folks in them executive boardrooms making the executive decisions at the radio station, at the record company, or even on the Live Nation tour. Those folks are our age. Them folks are in their 40s, 50s, and 60s. And you know, family, and since we're talking about music in the industry, let me bring a brother in here. Here's my brother. There he is, EJ Tyler. Hey, EJ.
Hello, everybody. Can y'all hear me?
Listen, so yeah, we can hear you. So let me give you a little bit background with me and EJ. I think the first play that EJ allowed me to act in was Poor Job, I think. And EJ is a local person who has national and international flair when it comes down to playwriting, to when it comes down to movie producing. I can't wait. I think right now some of his stuff needs to be on Tubi and Netflix and other places. But this brother gave me the opportunity to work out some of my acting chops. We did Zydeco Soul Child together. We did some projects together, and I look forward to him calling me where we can do some other stuff. But Shauna had reached out to me, and I know EJ got some stuff going on. So welcome, EJ, to hashtag Truth Be Told. And I know you're doing part 2 of a part 1. So tell us about what you got going on out there in the business of what you're doing in video productions and things of that nature. Give it to me.
All right. First of all, man, I want to thank you for that welcome. I was wondering who you was talking about at first. I should take you on the road as my opening introducer. Thank you. But to give it off to Joe, man, he done a real great job, man. When he did the first acting gig, and he knocked it out the park himself. It's people like him that makes my job easy, man. Trust me. If you surround yourself by good talent, I just always get the rewards, but I always push it right back to people like him, Sharon did, and now Shona Sides, who have surprised me and knocked me out the park. I mean, I can't believe it. But against all odds, man, I came up with this. This whole thing started as was supposed to be a skit. It was supposed to be some little 3 to 5 minute skits where we'd just been targeting the youth, and this thing just kept growing and growing and growing, and to the point to where the people loved it. And it started imitating life, and people started seeing their loved ones, maybe their uncle, maybe their kid, maybe their grandkid. So we came with a part 2. Now on part 2, just to refresh on part 1. Part 1 was about a guy getting out of jail. And what happened, he went to jail for murder. And he was trying to turn his life around, but the streets some kind of way keep pulling you back in. So what happened, he wound up getting himself into a little situation. Now part 2 is going to pick off from that situation, but instead of following Big E, we're going to actually follow the guy brother he killed. And I'm going to touch on how, both sides of the family lose. That guy lost his brother. The mom lost her son. So it shows the hurt. It shows why this guy got so much anger in him, because in society didn't put this on your shoulder to where if somebody do something to you, you have to go out there and get revenge. And it's just a never-ending cycle where everybody loses. Now, do I think this movie is gonna magically change the world? No, I don't think that. But I have heard some people respond to it. So that's good enough. If one or two people say, man, I felt that. I felt that, especially when it comes from the youth. Especially when it comes from the youth. Because I'm a firm believer in some of these old heads, you just got to let that pass. You got to let that, some people, you can't do nothing with. I mean, the jail and the penitentiary are here for a reason. And it's for people just like that. So we can't save them all. So the ones that want to change and want to listen to the message and get the message. Get the message. Don't just see the guns and think this is another Boys in the Hood Minister Society movie, because it's not. And the reason why it's not, a lot of people, that they wouldn't have lent me their talent to be a part of this. They got the message. So coming up this Thursday, guys, at 8 p.m., if you watch this, I guarantee you're going to laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to smile. It's an emotional roller coaster ride, and y'all come on and take it with your boy.
Make sure y'all use promo code SS in there. You get 15% off. EJ, before Joe comes on in, I would also like for you to, if it's okay, I know you've shared on my show once before your personal story. Our show right here is not just Lafayette or Opelousas. We got New York, New Jersey, Okinawa, Japan, and all that. I would really would be so humbled if you would tell people why this is so close.
No problem, no problem. And I don't tell it all the time. A lot of people don't know. A lot of people call me EJ. To go back a little bit, I have 6 daughters. Yeah, you heard it right, 6 daughters. I always say this. I must have threw a rock at a priest when I was coming up or something. But I got my first son out of all those 6 girls. I finally got my son. Well, my son passed a while back, and everybody used to call him EJ, Eric Jr. My real name is Eric James Toller. And we used to just call him, we used to call him EJ. They used to call him EJ. So now when everybody calls me EJ, I used to think of my son. I'm almost immune to it now. I almost think that's my name. Now, the way I got into this, I had a lot of stuff build up. I smile a lot, I clown a lot, but it was a thunderstorm brewing in my head, because, you know, you think, why would God take your only son? And you've been waiting on this. And I was going through a dark time. I'm serious. It was bad. It was bad at one time. But I mean, I had my whole family here for me. I had to suck it up. So I had a dream one night, and you ever felt like a dream was real? Mm-hmm. Well, I'm playing with my son. We're having a good time. I'm laughing. We clowning. I'm holding it. I'm saying to myself, I thought he had passed away. I thought he was dead. But it felt so real. So I'm holding him, and all of a sudden he started getting heavy. He just started getting heavy and heavy. I mean, unbearable heavy. And I didn't want to put him down. And I just kept holding him until the point that he got just so heavy, I couldn't hold him. So I wound up putting him down. I woke up about it. I'm sure some of you guys wouldn't know what that means. I didn't know what it meant at the time. So I told my wife, I just had a dream, man. It felt so real. I mean, I wanted to go back and relive that. And then the message in that dream was, that was too much weight I was carrying around. It was too much weight I was carrying around. I had to let it go. And when I let it go, a lot of good things came out of it. You know, I turned lemon into lemonade. I mean, I wrote a book. I started doing my stage plays. I got a little more involved. I started actually going to the jailhouse, preaching to in the San Leandro Parish jail, also the Opelousas jail before they closed it down. I started doing a lot of things, and I started feeling good about myself. And then I started calling myself EJ, and it felt good. It felt good, and man, a lot of good things came out of that, because it could have went a totally different route, because my daughters then was dependent on me. So, you know, Daddy stepped up, and I'm proud to say I'm in a better place now. And every time y'all say EJ, I smile a little bit, and especially when people don't know the story. They just, hey, EJ, what's going on? Hey, my brother, what's happening, my man? So, yeah, and it gets a little more things in it, but that's it in a nutshell.
So let me jump in here, because EJ ain't going to tell it all, but I'm going to tell it. You know, this brother gives back. This brother on his own dime started a communications and video class at a local high school in his county parish. I say county because the only people who know parishes is Louisiana. Everybody
North
else in
Central
the
in the
United
house.
in the United States of America knows counties. So in the county, now you're doing effects in the back and all that good stuff. Watch yourself. So this brother here is one of them brothers who I can testify. EJ, we traveled to Beaumont, Texas. We've done travel to Houston. We did Zydeco trail rides together. This brother is an outstanding videographer. Instead of him just doing it for himself, this brother took his skills and began to work with folks and develop people in high school who might want to do the same thing. That's what I'm talking about. Don't keep it to yourself. I was going to tell EJ, and I'm glad he's on here, and I'm going to make this known on my podcast here. EJ, if you ever need me to come help teach or to help with those kids at that high school, let me know. I don't work all the time. As you do know, I do work in St. Landry Parish, but when I'm not working my 9 to 5, which sometimes ain't really 9 to 5, is whenever they call me in to do whatever needs to be done. Man, if you need me to come talk to them kids, if you need me to help them, show them how to video edit, how to audio edit, it's people like you. That's who I'm talking about. EJ ain't out there bragging about it. He ain't boasting about it. On his own dime, on his own money, he went to that high school and said, what can I do? Because there's a lot of kids here that want to be in radio. They want to do video. They want to be in plays. Let me set up a school of communications in this school to start them at a young age to see that this can be a career that can be prosperous to them. We need more people like EJ Tyler doing what EJ do. And I'm going to ring the bell and I'm going to give them a round of applause, because most folks, after having how many daughters you got? Because I basically know, I'm their uncle. They call me Uncle Joe. So how many daughters you got to get? Six, right?
I got 2 twins.
Right. So and some of them done went to Southern University, and I done sit in the trailer with y'all for homecoming, and we done ate and we done laughed. I'm their uncle on campus. Listen, but to have this man lose his son, I remember when we do the play, you had your son's picture hanging up there.
Yes.
Hanging up during the play.
Yes.
Man, for you to turn your pain into passion and to begin to bless folks, man, I can't do nothing but applaud you. And we need more people to do that. And you're not running around, look at me, I'm EJ Tyler. Look at me, I'm EJ Tyler. I told you a long time ago, you EJ Tyler, you the next Tyler Perry. And I meant that, because it's people like you with the heart that you have, Brother Fatim. You muted. You muted, Brother Fatim.
Me, because I didn't mute myself. But Brother EJ, first of all, I commend you and thank you for coming on the broadcast. This is my first time meeting you. How long have you been doing this work?
Been doing this about 12 years now.
12 years. So one of the things, I don't know if you caught the beginning of the show, we would talk. Well, one of the things that I brought up was about how we have to look ourselves in the mirror and how we have to start with self. Joe created a hashtag, about doing for self. Because and not being selfish, but doing for self to make a difference in other people's life, we have to make sure our house is in order to help other people going forward. My question to you, because see, this is what I said about setting short-term goals. It's one thing to talk about it, but then to receive it back in the sense of what you poured in. Do you have any students that come back to you? Because it makes a difference. And it's not about me, but I just remember there was a neighborhood kid. He wound up taking my daughter to the prom, but he was a badass kid. He talked a lot of this when he was in elementary school. When fathers came in to play against the boys, and he did this. We couldn't lose that game. We won by 2 points, but I couldn't lose that game to this kid because I gotta hear this. You know what I'm saying? 5th grader, big mouth. But he went on to graduate with honors from Hampton, scholarship from football from high school to Hampton. And he came back in my house and he said, I want to thank you. Thank me. Thank you. Got a mother and a father. Said, no, man, you poured into me. So my question, so people will hear, have any students come back to you and thanked you, but explain to you why they thanked you? Because I want folks to realize how you probably have affected people. You don't want to talk about yourself, and that's cool. I got that. but I want you to talk about those that learn from you, that you inspired, that you motivated. What did they come back and say to you in a sense of you touching their lives?
Excellent question. Excellent question. First, this is the first year that we started that program. I brought all my camera work in there, but just to let you know, they had a gentleman in there, and his name is Wright. It's two of them. The principal had pretty much given up on these guys, man. And the way I teach, I motivate. I high five them. I do things with them that they probably not used to. I big up them. Every little thing they do good. So these guys took a liking to me. They took a liking to me. Next thing you know, I told them, I said, I tell you what, I'll teach you this if you start going to class. After about a month or two, the whole school noticed a difference in these two gentlemen. And so they actually done a write-up on them. And I mean, they getting there. They're not there yet, but I done sparked something in them. And it's all about those cameras. Now that camera might not be the vehicle that they use to get what they want, but that can be the thing they use to motivate themselves. So now I'm starting to hear them talk more about one guy, he loves math. One guy, he was playing dumb. This guy was very, very smart. Penmanship was great, but he would always act crazy. And I do little things with him. I tell you what, I'll let you watch this if you do this here. And he take his time with it. I think just pouring in these kids just a little bit and just finding that little thing that they love and feed off of that and congratulate them. I'm also, I have tough love. When they do something knuckleheads and being stupid, I'll start disrupting my class. I take them outside, not in front of the class, because normally when you take them away from who they're trying to show off in front of, they normally stop. And I talk to them just like a man. I say some things that you might not say in front of the other people, but that's the way you get their attention. And then I do it with love. I do it out of respect. Now, based on some kids that came back, I've been around the Opelousas and Washington area for a long time. A lot of my nephews, they're not my biological, but me being no kids, no sons, I take them as my own. And a lot of these guys who might have went a different route, they went a totally different route. And I know that's a little bit because of me, and they don't say it, but their respect shows it. Meaning, hey, what's going on? How you doing, man? You need something done? Quick to do it. Some of them then went on to build their own house. Some of them we work offshore, but they wasn't going down that route until I just started pouring in them. So now I'm telling them they don't have to say it. It's the way they're living, the respect they have for their family, the way that they're raising their kids now. And a lot of them not being knuckleheads. Some of them range between the ages of 25 and 30. And that's that prime age where they start getting into a lot of trouble. But some of these guys say, man, I can go on and on. They don't do that. Now, do I reach everyone? No. But those few guys that I'm talking about, that's worth it because I know I've changed the trajectory of their life and their family. So that in itself is the blessing for me.
And you got to be real. Let's talk about your 6 lovely daughters. Let's talk about them. If I'm correct, EJ, all of them have graduated now from college. Is the last one? Yes,
Tori is the last one, and she's gone for law. She's a senior, so I don't know if she's gonna go to Southern, but yeah, all of them have.
So I know, and me and Tori was my girl. Tori is still to this day. Tori was my girl, and I love Tori to death. At the end of the day, raising those 6 beautiful daughters, and I always laughed with you because we would laugh together because of my 2 daughters, and we would say, bro, I said, man, I thought I needed a shotgun. You need a whole tank battalion in front of you.
I got a gun line, boss. I got something called a gun line over here.
Yeah, we got something called a gun line, boss. So,
they got no fences here at Camp Tyler.
I saw, man, how you loved your daughters, how you love your wife, how you love your family. And once again, and watch this. This brother got 6 daughters, had 7 children, tragically lost one, all from the same woman. Another perfect example. So listen, brothers, you can have one woman and love her and produce a ton of children and have a good life. This brother is a prime example of that. Many a times I talk to EJ, me and EJ, when we do talk, and we talk a lot. That's my friend. EJ was on my radio show. We were rolling together for a while. And I'm so happy when Shauna told me that she wanted you to come on. I couldn't tell nobody because I was like, man, if VJ comes on here, he gonna see that, brother, I miss you. I miss you. You one of my brothers, man. And be exact, today I'm coming to Washington to your house to look you dead in your eye and hug you, my brother, and give you some dap.
Always welcome.
We
now,
got
Joe, you being modest. Joe written I would say an acceptance letter for me to actually get that job. When they hired me on as full time, I needed to reach back at Joe and told him, man, look, I need some help because I never went to college. I mean, all my kids did, but I'm you know, some classes here and there, but I never graduated from college. So they had to go on my work experience. And I went to Joe, man. Joe made it look beautiful. I said, oh, yeah, man, this somebody I would hire. So, yeah, man, thank you, Joe, man. So he's one of the reasons why I actually got into that school. Joe did that for me. He wrote that letter.
And,
So thank you, man.
and that's what, EJ, that's what I do, brother. College or no college, you have more camera expertise than most cats who graduated with mass comm degrees because you taught yourself. You are an example of an EJ Tyler / Malcolm X. Malcolm taught himself, brother. Just I tell people, y'all, them papers we hang on these walls are really for the colonizers to accept us to be whoever we say we are. You ain't got to, I ain't even gonna go there because somebody's gonna get mad. Somebody's gonna get mad. But let me stay off of that. Let me say the following. It is men like yourself. Brother EJ, you live in a beautiful house. You have a beautiful family. You ain't missing a meal or missing a bill. And no, you didn't graduate from college, but you're still a prosperous brother. And guess what? You take your prosperity and you go and try to show others how to be prosperous as you did it. And that needs to be applauded because we got too many of us who got degrees, who got nice houses, who got nice things, who don't do nothing for nobody but themselves and they circle. And that's why we're not getting nowhere. It is men like you that go out there and sacrifice every day, not only for your family, but to help our community be a better community. And for that, man, I applaud you. I thank you for coming on. Man, it is 9 minutes to the top of the hour. 9 minutes. So EJ, thank you for coming on. This is where we get ready to sign off. I want you to give us some closing words, brother. We're going to let you give us some closing words. Give us some closing words, brother.
Well, the closing words is, man, first of all, never doubt yourself, man. Keep moving forward. And when it starts getting a little rougher, man, that's probably when you're almost there. That's when you're right there. Just keep moving forward. And for you youngsters out there, guys, you got your whole life ahead of you, man. Just calm down. Just calm down. Because some of that stuff you're going to look back at and say, why did I do that? Now, I know some of y'all some knuckleheads. That's why I look at them and say, well, he is 15. He is 16. He is 17. He is 18. So take your time, okay? Anything else will be going over your head. So I'm not going to be preaching to you. Just take your time and relax, okay? And in closing, guys, if y'all want to watch a real great movie that's going on this Thursday, which is tomorrow, it's going to be airing, streaming on my website. It's www.ejtylersproduction.com, ejtylersproduction.com. And guys, come join it with us, okay? It's simple as that, all right? Against All Odds, too. Shawnee, you've done an outstanding job, baby. Outstanding job. Peace out, guys.
Peace, my brother. Peace. Real quick, I want to go back to say something about something I said earlier. Always learning something. So this morning, 2 hours ago, I learned something, but now I relearned something. So what I said that the 1946, the WAP song was created. It wasn't created in 1946. What was done was a TikTok person took the artist, Lucille Bogan, Black woman. Lucille Bogan, look, Black woman. And she made sexual songs from the 1930s. 1930s. The person that put it on TikTok said it was AI generated. So they put in the WAP song. So she did not, Lucille Bogan did not make the WAP song. Got to give it back to Cardi B and Megan Thee Stallion. But let's go to Lucille Bogan because she did do songs. And it says, you know, Marvin Gaye's Sexual Healing, Prince, Darling Nikki, and most recently Cardi B's WAP. I'm sure you heard of these songs. Cardi B teamed up with Megan Thee Stallion. You understand? But this young lady, Lucille Bogan, was rough. And she put out a lot of sexual songs. She made a few songs out here. One is Tricks Ain't Walking No More. This is the 1930s, the beginning of the Great Depression, on which she sung songs about the toll on dying, the economy, this, that, and other, as a sex worker. She says, and I'll try to, she said, time's done gone hard, money then got scarce, stealing and robbing is going to take place, cause tricks ain't walking no more. I said, tricks ain't walking no more, and I'm going to rob somebody if I don't make me some dough. She went into something, say, I got nips and tits, big as the end of my thumb. I got something between my legs, make a dead man come. Oh, daddy, baby, won't you shave them dry? And she goes on and on and on. And this was the 1930s. So I'm not criticizing it because adults do things for adults. What I'm saying is that nowadays, there's no distinction between adults and with the children here. You understand? And remember, at one time when we had Radio Shack and different kind of record stores across the country that sold CDs, they had the parental advisory. That's something they fought for, to put the parental advisory so young folks were not able to buy that. Now we have social media, and it's cute for a lot of parents to have their kids dancing and twerking to these songs at the end of the day. And when they do that, their mind is so impressionable. And what does that say to be a respectable human being growing up? You understand? When you become an adult and behind closed doors, what you do is your business. That's your business. You understand? So I just want to correct that. And those are my closing words. I just want to correct that because we're always learning something there. And I just think that there's a lane for everything. There's an adult lane, there's a young adult, there's a teenager, and there's the adolescent and the youth lane. Remember, we all not meshed into one at one time. Our mind continues to evolve and grow. When our mind continues to evolve and grow, that's where we can handle more things and understand those kind of things. So that's it.
Man, great show today. First, let me say again, to my sister Jax, pray a speedy recovery from your oral surgery. It was good seeing my good sister Shauna on here. EJ Tyler, let me give you a round of applause again, brother. Ring the bell. My brother Fatim, my brother from another mother. I am blessed to do this thing every Monday through Friday for 2 hours with you. This thing we call hashtag Truth Be Told. And to the audience out there and everybody who was in the chat, everybody who called in, we appreciate you. Click like and share. We're broadcasting live on Facebook Live. We're on YouTube Live, and we're on Instagram. Just support us. Please support us. Click like and share. Like our personal Facebook pages. We appreciate all of you. As I get ready to get up out of here, always remember, be better today than you were yesterday. Do something for somebody today that there's no earthly way they can pay you back. And remember, there is no secret what God can do. What he has done for others, he will and he can do for you. For when God is with you, nothing or no one can stand against you. See tomorrow. It's going to be turn up Thursday, turn down for what? We up out of here. Have a blessed one. Peace.
Yeah, I wrote this song, and I pray that you listen to all the words, because I feel like at some point in everybody's life, you feel like this. Lord, I'm split in two. Part of me loves the world, and the other loves you. So what do? I wanna be saved, but I gotta stay cool too. And no, I'm not a fool. I know eventually I'm gonna have to choose. And really, I don't wanna lose my ticket into heaven and a chance to be used by you. And if it's God that I'm after, I just can't serve two masters. And before something happens, I gotta turn it all around, because I know I can't just have my cake and eat it too. 'Cause it's real easy to stay on the fence and still do you. And it'd be cool if we could love the Lord and still go do our thing. But see, it doesn't work like that. You gotta be white or black. See, I've realized when it comes to sin, you just don't compromise. See, it's a matter of death and life. Be weak and do wrong, or be strong and do right. And I don't want to keep going to church, singing all about how much you're worth, and then continue doing my dirt, living as if I didn't care if you're hurt. Cause if it's God that I'm after, I just can't serve two masters. And before something happens, I gotta turn it all around, because I know I can't just have my cake and eat it too. Cause it's real easy to stay on the fence and still do you. It'd be cool to love the Lord and still go do our thing. But see, it doesn't work like that. You gotta be white or black. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. Lord, I really need you to help me get it together. Yeah. Saints, we really gotta get it together. Oh, yeah. And if it's God that I'm after, I just can't serve two masters. Before something happens, I gotta turn it all around, because I know I can't just have my cake and eat it too. Yeah, it's really easy to stay on the fence and still do you. And it'd be cool if we could love the Lord and still go do our thing. But see, it don't work like that. You gotta be white or black. No, it don't work like that. You gotta be white or black. Yeah, no gray, no shades of gray. No, 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 no. Don't work like that, no.